He likes to dress nice.
Yeah.
Um, he's the middle child, even though he came into the family last.
Mm-hmm.
He loves adventure. At times, he gets a little bit irritated with his sister since he's the only boy so far.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's
And if
newsman,
you're just joining
Logan
to
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into an incredible children's adventure book that combines treasure hunts, pirate kings, and family bonding in the most magical way. Joining us today is author Beth Berger-Caldwell, and she has created a magical book, a series of books actually, but the one we're going to focus on first is called Our Adventure to Pirate King Island. It's a captivating story that takes young readers on an unforgettable journey filled with mystery, exploration, and the wonder of sibling teamwork. If you love kids' books, adventure stories, or inspiring tales that spark imagination in children, you're going to want to hear what Beth has to share about crafting stories that bring families together. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Beth, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. You've got the siblings there behind you.
Yes, I do.
Little creepy, almost look like aliens or trolls, and I think that's great because I think they'll capture the imagination of children. So grab one of those little dolls there and show us what the characters look like because I think they're wonderful.
What? This is Rana.
Okay.
She was my first one I adopted. People will say she's related to Grogu from Mandalorian.
Okay.
They very, 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 very distant cousins. They've never met or anything.
Very nice.
And she's the one I started writing little stories about during COVID. And then my godchildren got one and they absolutely loved him. And by then I adopted Polli, her younger sister.
Mhm.
And I just started writing these stories. I had nothing else to do since I had a travel agency.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
I love that. You know what? They're like relatable to children of all races, all ages. They don't have to
right.
see the white kid or the black kid or the yellow kid or the brown kid playing. They get to see Rana playing, who kind of looks like, a cross between an alien and a troll. And I think that's
Right.
wonderful. I think it captures our imagination and makes it relatable. Tell us about, did you create these dolls as well? Did you make them?
No, I did
Okay.
purchase, well, I adopted them, as people say,
Yep.
um, from an Amazon adoption agency, I guess.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I love them. And I love the fact that they're the basis of your stories. Tell us about your first book. The first book involves Frog Island, correct?
Yes, they love frogs. Rana had a dream about an island that was all frogs. They did all sorts of different things. And so when she woke up, she called her best friends over and said, "Hey, I've got an adventure." She drew the map and they had to go through many different lands like Couch Mountain. They had to cross on a rope bridge over the lava river to the recliner chair and table mountain. And then they went down to meet a dragon who had a way for them to get to Frog Island. And they went to Christmas Island with Santa and met Princess Trish Penguin, Nico Dolphin, Natalie, Natalie Mermaid, and just all sorts of different people. And then they ended up at Frog Island and they had a magical way for the kids to get back home and everything and come back to them.
It's
And
wonderful.
just
The stories are
it's
so imaginative, and they're not like little thin books that are 10 or 12 pages that you get
no,
often when you get a children's book. This is like 140 pages with beautiful
correct.
illustrations and beautiful prose that you and
Thank
your
you.
child can read at bedtime over a period of nights. And when you're done, you could read it again because
Yes,
I
and
think children are going to love the different lands. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
hope so. Oh, that's fine. And they are chapter books. So, like, let's say, meeting with Princess Trish Penguin, that is one whole chapter.
Yeah.
Then they have to find the Southern Cross in the sky, and I explain that. I want some learning in it. I explain what the Southern Cross is and how it happens. Um, and just I want kids to have imagination. It's, again, like I did. I have been asked by parents, probably in their 20s and 30s, what do you mean by imagination book? I says, it's where you have the floor that's covered in lava. Huh? I'm going, oh, we're in trouble.
Exactly. You've got to have a good imagination. I think so much of our imagination has been stifled in this
Hmm.
digital age. All that kids want to do is you see them, little babies
Yes,
are on phones or
yes,
iPads, and they're going like this at, 4, 5, 6 months of age, and they're losing something. They need to have a beautiful book in front of them with pictures they can look at and wonder and imagine and lands they can visit. And your lands are quite inventive. Tell us about
yes.
the different lands again, or
We
the
have
different islands that they go to.
yeah, Christmas Tree Island.
Tell us
We
about
have,
Christmas Tree Island before you move to the next. That one sounds like it's the right time of year and a
yes.
place as a child I would certainly love to go visit, Christmas Tree Island.
Um, I was writing the book and it was Christmas time. And I got thinking of my dad, who loved Christmas like I do. And my Christmas tree was still up. I said, they can go to Christmas Tree Island and meet Santa after Christmas.
Hmm.
Well, Santa really only visits there after Christmas. The main characters there is Alan Lobster
Mhm.
and, oh, I'm blanking, Glitter the reindeer. That was Santa's reindeer, but unfortunately, he's afraid of heights and flying. So Santa sent him down to Christmas Island.
Very cool. Very cool. That must, when kids see Christmas Island on the page, their eyes must be, bugging out of their head because, kids dream about Christmas and Santa and Christmas trees and reindeers and all of that
Right.
great stuff. And that's just one portion of the book. And then
Yes.
we go to the next island, the next adventure. What are some of the other islands?
One is Elephant Island with mermaids on it.
Hmm.
It's this will be in my third book. I plug that now too, I guess. Is the island, if you get into the water around Elephant Island, you turn into a mermaid
Very cool.
and you can go swimming with them, having a great time. That's more explained in the third book than in the first one because I didn't come up with that till the third one.
Very cool. Very cool. Again, the kids, you step in the water and you become a mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
I can just see that their imaginations will go wild, that they can't wait to get to a beach and try it and play and pretend that they're mermaids and all of the things that
Right.
kids should be doing. Like you said,
Yes, I agree.
sparking their imaginations and their creativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beyond videos on phones and all of that stuff.
Right.
Great, great. What other islands do they visit in this book? Frog
Um,
Island, obviously.
yes, Frog Island, of course. We have the Cave of Pillows or Pillow Cave, where they meet Donovan the dragon,
Right.
and he has a special necklace to keep them safe, and he loans them his boat so they can go on the adventure to all the different islands.
Wow.
And then Donovan Dragon shows up in the second book, helping them out again.
Mm,
And one of their islands in the first book is Pirate King Island, where the pirate lives in a skull
mm.
island. and um, that is Lars the Pirate King. And he helps them, every island they stop at helps them a little bit more to get to Frog Island. And then in the second book, it's about the Pirate King Island. They did not know that Lars moved to a different island, which turned into, you can see a little bit of my cat tree was his treehouse, but without a tree.
Yeah.
And so they learned about how it's shipwrecked and everything, and learned some lessons there. They got to see the green flash, which so many, even adults, don't know that exists. And I explained that, and the kids always care about each other, make sure they're safe, they work together. Something my brother and I had, and a lot of families don't have anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that struck me was sibling teamwork. I mean, you hear
Yes.
about sibling rivalries and
Mm-hmm.
sibling angst, but sibling teamwork is a little bit different. You had it with your brother, you guys got along and you'd work together and all of that?
We were best of friends. Even in high school, we took ballroom dancing together.
Hmm.
And just, my dad, we all traveled together and just, we were a very close-knit family.
Right. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I think it's important for kids to see that and to learn that siblings can get along and be pals because
Right,
you hear so many other narratives of the opposite that they're at each other's throats and it doesn't have to be that way. And so
right.
Rana, Polly, and Pata are the three great examples of sibling teamwork, I guess, right?
Yes, yes,
Wonderful, wonderful. And each have their own unique personality, right?
yes.
Let's tell us about Rana first. What's Rana like?
Well, Rana sometimes can be a little bit diva. She is the boss, since she's the oldest, she feels she's the boss of them and knows more than them.
Hmm.
But she cares a lot for her brother and sister, even though they're all adopted.
Hmm.
Um, she's kind of a neat freak. She gets that from me. Um, but she loves adventures. Um, gets to be a little bit of a guess picks on her brother and sister at times, but nothing real mean.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Polly, tell us about Polly.
Yes. Okay, let me grab Polly. Polly is short for Pollywog because she is the smallest.
Hmm.
Um, she is older than Pata, even though she is small.
Hmm.
Um, she is very outspoken, I guess you'd say. She'd come up with little things to say that most people wouldn't think of. In the second book, kind of doing my job now, is their mom books for the national parks. And she looked at them when they were looking for the treasure map, and she says, I don't understand the interest in the Grand Canyon. It's just a big hole in the ground. And which cracked them up. And Rana, being the oldest, has to tell them how the Grand Canyon was made and everything. And it's a natural wonder. She is very adventurous. Nothing really scares her.
So you're
She's more of the
using these
outgoing.
characters now in a book to help parents and children learn about the national parks together?
Well, this one they learn about the Grand Canyon
Okay.
a little bit, and they also learn about the green flash over the ocean. I'm still waiting to see in person. Um, Tried for 62 years.
Eventually.
And just, I don't know if I'll bring in other national parks yet or not. But
Hmm.
since they were on my desk looking for the treasure map, that's how the subject came up. I said, oh, learning experience.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's great. I think that's great that you incorporated elements like the national parks and the green flash over the ocean, which I've never seen either, which I guess is kind of like the Northern Lights. Is that what it is?
It's more special. The water temperature, the clouds, and the sun have to be perfect. It's more down like Florida, Caribbean, and everything.
Mm.
And I know of one gentleman who sat for 1 hour watching it because it was supposed to be the perfect green flash. Well, he was at this restaurant overlooking the ocean, and the wife said, "Our food's here, turn off the camera." He turned off the camera. It happened.
I believe that. That's what wives are for. Stop the
Yes.
nonsense, turn off the camera, let's eat. I'm like,
And you
okay,
miss it.
it just happened,
Yeah,
right?
that's my luck too.
Amazing, amazing. That's amazing. So tell us about Pata. Let's move on to Pata.
Okay.
Pata's a sharp dressed man. I like
Oh,
that
thank you.
striped shirt. Yeah,
Yes, he likes to dress nice.
yeah.
Um, he's the middle child, even though he came into the family last.
Mm-hmm.
He loves adventure. At times, he gets a little bit irritated with his sister since he's the only boy so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's always looking out for his sisters, even though they're both, well, since Rana is older than he is, he feels like being their protector.
Mm-hmm.
He gets some wild ideas. In the third book, I don't want to go into too much detail. He learns how to fly an airplane to get them to the different islands quicker because Polly does have a hard time keeping up with them since she is smaller. He will give her piggyback rides if she gets tired. He's not as neat as the girls. Um,
That's great. Typical little boy, not as neat as the
yes.
girls. That makes sense. Have you had the opportunity to read your books to children?
Um, one time to my godkids,
Hmm.
but that was before the pictures and stuff, and they live about 3 hours away. So
Right.
I mailed them the books. They love them.
Great.
They're mentioned in them as characters, like Natalie, one of the mermaids, is my goddaughter,
Hmm.
and Nico is a dolphin.
Great.
Her grandpa's mentioned in it, and her grandma, mom, and dad are mentioned in it too.
Very
I
cool.
do use people's names that I care about
Hmm.
as characters.
Exactly. Well, I think that's great. It's a nice little shout out to people. Now, the story
Right.
begins with a dream about a treasure map. Are you hoping that kids, while listening to the story, whether reading it themselves or having a parent read it to them, kind of drift off into dreamland themselves when they're hearing the stories?
I hope so. And um, the voice comes to Paula in her or Polly in her sleep and says, "Find a treasure map to Pirate King Island."
Mm.
And so they go searching their house in different areas, situations. Um, they climb onto furniture looking. In fact, Polly gets trapped in front of the TV when she finds another clue. There's clues all over the house.
Mhm.
And then they finally find it on mom's desk. I probably should not have said that. And they decide, or Pata decide, they need to go to the Pirate King Island first so they can find a treasure map since pirates aren't really around or find treasure so they can buy an airplane or some way to get around to all the different islands.
Very
But
cool.
they meet up with Lars, who is the Pirate King who moved. He knew the girls from the first book and they just talk. And Lars did give them some 2 gold coins to buy something as long as they will come back and pick him up on some of the adventures.
Very
So
cool.
I will have characters from other books pop into other books.
Right. How many books are there so far right now?
So far, two have been published.
Hmm.
The first book has been published in German, Spanish, and French.
Very cool.
I'm working on the third book. I'm still writing that, and it's our adventure to Mermaid Island.
Mm.
And
I think that's going
starting,
to be a big one. I think kids are going to love that. They love mermaids,
yes,
with the success of The Little Mermaid kind of indicates that, right?
right. And I'm a beach bum, so I'm very passionate about it. And I'm trying to put little clues on
Hmm.
the cover of each book. Like for the Pirate King Island, we have Pata dressed up as a pirate, and the
Grr.
girls are dressed up as mermaids.
Very cute. Very
And then
cute.
the cover on the third book, the girls will be mermaids again. Pata will be in his train outfit with the overalls and holding a train car. They're going to go to Train Island
Cool. Very
because
cool.
that was a very big part of my son's growing up and my husband's life is model trains.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
fourth book,
another great imagination toy that you don't see as much anymore. But every kid growing
right.
up, when you and I were growing up, had an HO train set, maybe around the
Mm-hmm.
Christmas tree, setting it
Yes.
up with your dad or your mom. And it was
Mm-hmm.
fascinating, and just
Yes.
building the little city and, everything that goes along with the train set's wonderful too.
Yes. And I do want to give a plug out. My friend Larry Price, who started the only children's model train car in the US. It's Youth and Model Railroading. He got, our son was in that group. It is wonderful. It gets kids involved in trains and community services. They built a layout for a library up in Westminster, Colorado. A couple of the boys do work for the trains, like the tourist trains, like Georgetown or Durango train, and it teaches them electric or electrical wiring and everything.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And Larry will be in the fourth book.
Okay,
He
wonderful,
doesn't know
wonderful.
that yet, but
And that's going to be Train Island, right?
yes, that will be Train
Okay.
Island.
Wonderful, wonderful. What's it like for you writing these books? It must be fun. You get kind of caught up in the little fantasy land that you're creating.
It is a lot of fun. Like I said, started out boredom, and now my imagination is going back to when my son was little with stories I'd tell him in the car when
Yeah.
he'd get fussy and everything.
Right.
And um, it's fun to have that part of my life being an adult of just going, hey, I can write a book and it's fun, it's enjoyable. Not
Exactly.
paying bills or getting groceries.
Exactly, exactly. It's great to have the wonder of childhood still within you, and certainly it
Yes,
is because you certainly capture its essence so well on the pages of your book.
thank you.
So Frog King Island is book one. How are each
Yes.
one of them? Are they kind of recurring themes? Are they different? Tell us how Frog King
Um,
Island's different than Pirate Island, Pirate King Island.
Frog Island is just the adventure of going to all sorts of different islands.
Hmm.
Then, when two of their characters moved, I says, I've got to do this between the three siblings.
Mm.
And so I did that. And I said, what's a good way to go to different places when you're a kid? Treasure map.
Yeah.
I remember them in restaurants.
Yeah.
And so I started that. I said, oh, a hunt to find the treasure map. And
Mm.
it just kind of grew from there. And when I was drawing the treasure map, I started putting all these different islands and locations. And I looked at my husband. I said, does this mean I have to write this many books? So
Amazing. So
if I do all,
eventually, every different island, whether it's Mermaid Island, Christmas Tree Island, Pirate King Island, Frog Island, each will have its own book, you figure?
yes,
Yeah.
until I wear out.
That's wonderful. Well, because like, if a kid's fascinated by Christmas Tree Island, there's another book that explores it at a different level and a different depth.
Right.
Nice as well. What age group did you have in mind when writing your books?
Well, I think pretty much any age.
Yep.
Um, because with the people who love the Mandalorian, because they're semi-related to Grogu,
Hmm.
far distant cousins. I a lot of adults buy them. Um, I have a lot of parents get them for kids and grandparents,
Very cool. Yeah, I
and
think
just
any
pretty
kid
much any age.
child that can read it, it's him or herself. A parent can read it to the child.
Hmm.
There's a lot of, like you said, it's a chapter book. There's a lot there. So, older children will enjoy it too. And parents will enjoy
Right.
talking with their children about the different adventures and maybe even
Yes.
embellishing upon them.
Right.
It's funny, your stories remind me a little bit. My son, when he was a young child, maybe 4 or 5, loved a radio serial from the 1940s. And it was like
Oh,
Jimmy and
wow.
Johnny on Christmas Island.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Something
even know that was
Yeah, something
existed.
like that. And they'd have all these different adventures. They had like a magic flying dragon that would take them from one town to another. It's a
Oh,
little
how
bit
cute.
similar. I mean,
Right.
but yours is obviously unique and different and original. But the point I'm trying to make is he loved that. We'd
Yes.
listen to that, and he would be like just dreaming of these different islands and
Mm-hmm.
traveling with his sister and they'd have little lessons they'd learn along the way about danger and so forth and so on. So
Right.
very, very
We
cool.
need more of that.
Yeah. Have you thought about putting these into audiobooks?
Yes, we have. We're
Okay,
working on that now, me and Studio of Books.
great. Wonderful. And what about a TV series? Do you have a little dream of it one day being like a kids TV series or something, or a series of films?
I think it would be fun, but my biggest problem, a little bit like Rana, I'm
Mhm.
kind of a control freak over the books. I
Yeah.
don't want them to take something innocent and fun and turn it into something that I don't want. And I don't know how much
The
say
writers
I would
actually
have.
have a lot of control. They always say the most important person on the set is the person who wrote the screenplay or wrote the book. So you'd have a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
control. So we'll
That
see.
makes me
You
feel
put the
better.
work out there. If Nickelodeon or Hulu or Netflix comes knocking on your door and they want to turn it into a TV series, see what they have to say. You never know.
Right.
Something really, really wonderful, wonderful. How far are you into writing Pirate King Island right now? Is it complete?
Oh, Pirate King Island is complete. It's the Adventure to Mermaid Island I'm working on now. I have probably 4 or 5 more chapters I need to do.
Mhm.
There's going to be learning in this book also about sea creatures in the ocean and everything. And then I have to take all of the pictures for the book.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
do that myself with a 35 millimeter digital camera
Very cool.
and take probably 10,000 more pictures than I need, but they're all just enough difference to where I can find the perfect one.
Exactly, exactly. So you must have fun setting up the little dolls in different positions. And so for
The
like
other
Mermaid
can.
Island, did you bring them to the beach and that kind of thing and get pictures of them
They
there?
go to the bottom of the ocean. Um, they learn about eels, starfish, sharks, dolphins, which they know which Nico will be back in this book, the dolphin. And I'm one, I think it was Rana who just talked to the starfish and learned about starfish. There will be eels there and sharks, a hammerhead shark and a white shark or white tip or another shark will be the host of this party, and they will meet all sorts of different sea creatures down there. Um, One of the biggest learning things, and my husband's worried about I'll do it too in depth, is I want the people to learn about the trash island, the plastic island,
Good
and
one.
all the plastic in it, but I've got to keep it kind of kids level, not too preachy and
Right, right, exactly. Well, that sounds like a good one because kids have to learn about how we're trashing our planet. So I think that's important as well. Well, do you
right.
have an overall name for this series? Do you call it
Just our mini adventures or our
Our Many
adventure.
Adventures? Yeah. Well, we've been focusing on all of Beth's wonderful adventures here today in her wonderful books. Her latest book that's out is called Our Adventure to Pirate King Island. It is a
Yes,
captivating story that takes young readers on an unforgettable journey filled with mystery, exploration, and the wonder of sibling teamwork. But there's also
yes.
Frog Island, Mermaid Island is coming, Christmas Island is coming, Pirate King
Train
Island.
Island.
Train Island, a lot of wonderful books to keep an eye out for. They are wonderful.
Yes,
Like I said, they're not short children's stories, they're chapter books that
right.
children will enjoy time and time again over a series of nights, enjoy reading them
Yes.
and transporting them themselves in their imagination to these wonderful islands that have been created by Beth. Beth, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining me here today.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
It's been a real pleasure. I appreciate
Yes.
the talent that you put into producing these wonderful books and for being such a great guest here today. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.
Thank you.